This video is what I would call a cheeky video. I don't know if it's the British or English, I don't know the difference. But this is kind of a fun, playful video. I always get asked like, yo, what's your favorite? And it's really impossibly difficult to pick a favorite out of all these fragrances, right? If I really had to compile a list of fragrances that I'm obsessed about, at least currently, these 10 fragrances would be in that list. Now, are these the only 10? No. But right now, and doing it spur of the moment without too much thought, these were the 10 fragrances that I had to compile. So I'm gonna share these fragrances with you and hopefully you agree or you found a new fragrance to test. Let's roll my motherfucking music so I can put you on to the 10 fragrances I'm currently obsessed with.
We're all alone. Yeah, for some friends from the south side. In case you cared, out of all your friends, I want to be Cuba.
Blessed morning, my beautiful peoples. You know who it is. This is your boy, C to the U to the B to the A. 10 fragrances I'm currently obsessed with. There's gonna be a lot of obviously's in this video for the people who've been following me for years. And there's also going to be people who have been following me for years and I miss a particular fragrance and they're like, yo, but what happened to this? Oh, he missed this. Oh, you not like this no more? I'm telling you, it's going to happen, guaranteed. So these are 10 fragrances that really, it took me 4 minutes to compile, just going around and thinking 10 fragrances that I love, I'm obsessed, this is what it is right now, boom, 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 boom. I try to make it as quick as possible because I didn't want to think too much because then I would have been here for an hour and a half trying to dissect why I like this one more than the other one. That's not what I wanted to do. Ain't nobody got time for that. So let's get right into the video. Obviously, we all know, well, there's gonna be a lot of obviously's in this video, but we all know that Yves Saint Laurent Tuxedo was going to be in this list. I'm obsessed with Yves Saint Laurent. It's been over 7 years at this point. I love this. I have backup bottles. Sometimes you see a full bottle, sometimes you see an empty bottle, whatever the hell I can grab first. A lot of people confuse that whole lineup over here for a bunch of Yves Saint Laurents. No, it's kind of like the entire lineup. Kind of. It isn't all just Tuxedo bottles. I love this fragrance. It just does everything that I needed to do off of my skin. It has the sex appeal factor. It has that sweetness. It has the muskiness. It has a little bit of a spiciness. It's got a beautiful patchouli essence. It's got full-blown sex appeal. This is why this fragrance was so sought after, not just by my hype or any other content creators that focus on this particular fragrance as well, which I'm sure there's some, I don't know who, but there's reasons why there was rumors of discontinuation. They couldn't restock it for a while. It's a great fragrance. It's really a signature scent, all wear, all seas. It's just perfect for me. This is a fragrance that I'm obsessed about and I truly don't find myself losing obsession over Yves Saint Laurent Tuxedo. Next one. This one is just perfect in my eyes. It's a gorgeous scent profile. It's juicy, it's ripe, it's beautiful, it's Tom Ford's Plum Japonaise. Take a moment to appreciate a right plum fragrance. Not ripe, right plum fragrance. If you've had a curiosity or you've been interested in finding a juicy, beautiful, fruity fragrance that isn't overly feminine or has a lot of florals on top of it that just make it more feminine, I think this is a beautiful unisex scent profile that will just turn your life around. I just need a second. Just to give you an idea of the notes that are in here, if you can assimilate with the notes. There's booze, there's plum, there's cinnamon, there's vanilla, there's green earthy notes. I believe there's woodiness and I'm leaning towards not cedar. I think it's actually oud. It's one of these fragrances that takes me on a journey of sexiness. I feel like I lost 3 pounds after I sprayed this fragrance. I feel like my got a little wider and thicker and longer. Pause. Because that's how fucking masculine I feel when I smell this shit. So if you want a beautiful plum fragrance, and if you've never tried a plum fragrance and you just want to go for the fucking gusto, Plum Japonaise is one you need to try. Next one. This fragrance is pretty much a recent obsession, and that's Royal Tobacco by Amouage. I love what it does. It's the right amount of smoke. It's the right amount of like dark chocolatiness. It's the right amount of tobacco, pipe tobacco. It's incredible. I'm obsessed with this shit. The performance is outstanding. It's beautifully different from anything else in my collection. The presentation of the bottle, if we're gonna go that petty, is beautiful. And it's made by one of my favorite perfumers. So essentially this is a banger upon bangers and I'm absolutely obsessed with it. So if you wanna try a beautifully unique tobacco with beautiful smoky nuances that feel damn near religious, Royal Tobacco is it. Next one. One of of the most incredible leather fragrances in my collection, Memo African Leather. All I'm gonna say is this. I just put you on to, if you wanna try Plum fragrance, go for one of the best in the game. If you wanna try a leather fragrance, go for one of the best in the game. Properly balanced, beautifully executed, no sharp edges on this fragrance. It will do magic on your skin. I'm looking at you, questioning why you should pick up this fragrance. It is crack in a bottle when it comes to leather. Sweet, heightish, airy, deep, sexy, methodical, like a mad scientist was there in the lab calculating, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and then sat down and just started going, yeah, boom, yeah, boom. It's a symphony. They're putting the lyric, this is DJ Khaled putting a track together. It's fire, incredible. Try it, I'm obsessed with the next one. And if we're gonna talk about symphony in a fragrance, Killian's Black Phantom. Phantom of the Opera. It's Broadway. Super mysterious, boozy, dark, deep, robust. There's elements of this fragrance that can potentially come off overly sweet. For me, on my skin, it's the perfect amount of sweetness. There's this burnt sugary aspect of it. It's Killian, so they do booze beautifully. I mean, can you really go wrong with coffee, chocolate, caramel, sugar, booze, and more chocolate? Like, how? How is this not like on everybody's obsessive list? Killian Black Phantom, there's a reason why it's one of the best sellers in the Killian lineup. It's aces. Next one. Now this one is the first fragrance that got me more compliments than I ever thought a fragrance could get. I mean, maybe this could have been one of the fragrances that launched me or spiraled me or really made me think that this fragrance thing could be a thing. And that's Yves Saint Laurent's Loam. The original EDT, don't need the EDP constant. I don't need anything else, honestly. I'm obsessed with this one. It's the perfect signature scent in my eyes. When it comes to the designer space, this is one of the most stellar, bright, beautiful, work safe, parties life, clubbing, date, whatever you want. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous scent profile. It's not boring. It had a good hype for a while and then people started, tapping into other things or watching content creators and forgetting about old school hits. This is a hit. For me, it doesn't smell dated. I think it's an absolutely perfect fragrance for somebody to get into. And even if this was going to be like your only one, this is a great only one. It's not overly expensive, readily available, and I'm obsessed with this joint. It's great. Next one. This fragrance, chef's kiss. Soul Cafe by Chris Classic and Savoir Faire. This guy's not a perfumer. He's a guy who likes fragrance. He's a guy who likes fashion. He's an artist. And when an artist is interested in something, they can teach themselves how to do it. They'll figure a way out. They know what they like. You don't gotta think too much about it. You just gotta do it, execute it, and figure it out the best way possible as an artist. And this is beyond unique. There's nothing like it in my collection. There's no hype or no bullshit. If something's good, it's good. But when something's great, it's different. This is great, completely unique. I feel that it might encompass this particular person's vibe, energy at that time, the thought process. It does wonders off of my skin. It's beautifully unique in its lavender punches, a little bit of a tobacco vibe. There's some slight booze, some beautiful woods in here. A very unique sour citrus note that doesn't come off abrasive or really just too tardy off the skin. It's a beautiful composition that isn't overly expensive. It does sell out consistently, and there's a particular reason why. So just keep in mind that this one is one of the fragrances that I'm obsessed with. Next one. Where the obsession for this fragrance comes from is that I feel that this fragrance is the complete opposite of me. This is a true gentlemanly fragrance. It presents this air of aristocracy and brilliance and super Spanish soap opera heartthrob dude that I want to be in my mind. I've always said it. I'm about 6'3", 6'4", 250 pounds of pure muscle with a deep root. You know, that hard V. And that fragrance for me is Gynamite by Marc-Antoine Barrios. Gynamite is, I've described it every time, Richard Gere in the bottle, but I'm talking about like Richard Gere, Pretty Womanish back in the day shit. True gentleman, Spanish soap opera star. When an American woman who doesn't speak the Spanish language watches a Spanish soap opera and sees that fucking hunk of meat, and she's just like, damn daddy, yeah, this shit. I'm obsessed with this joint. I know a lot of people share my same sentiments. There's some people that actually don't like this, and that's fine. There's some people that don't like any of this. that's fine too. Always test these joints out. Just because I'm obsessed with it doesn't mean you will. But my nose is on point. Next one. This was a fragrance that was love at first sniff. A ton of people like it. Is a compliment monster, and that's Parfums de Marly Leighton. I am obsessed with Leighton. Leighton is not the only one in that lineup that I'm obsessed with. I picked Leighton because Leighton has been in more videos because of my obsession with it. Like, I love the scent profile. I love what it does for me. It's an incredible fragrance. It's a hyped fragrance. It's Parfums de Marly's creed, I think. It's up there in that every line has their like banger, and I think if this is not number one, it's definitely in the top 2 to 3 max. Beautiful bottle presentation, but the scent profile itself is just extraordinary. It's apple, it's sweet, it's woody, it's deep, it's pure sexiness. It's a fucking vibe. I'm obsessed with this fragrance. It's kind of one of my dumb reaches. Like if I'm in a pinch and I want to do something quick, just like I did today. When I was going quick and picking these fragrances, I was like, and this was the one I went for. I didn't want to have too much thought behind it. I wanted to just obsess. I love this. Leighton, fire. And lastly, this is a new obsession. Completely caught me off left. I still don't know what they were thinking about when cultivating this fragrance, but Tony Iommi's Monkey Special, it's like booze and chinola, like booze and passion fruit with honey vibes, tobacco. It's supposed to be catered after a rock star. I don't know this dude, I don't know anything about the, I just don't know. But what I do know is completely unique as well to anything in my lineup. Performs outstanding, super unique, and I can't say I've gotten a ton of compliments off of this fragrance because it's not one that I grab consistently, nor have I been recently in a scenario that this can obtain compliments, but I'm beyond curious to see what other people think about this fragrance, especially the opposite sex, to see if this is considered as sexy as I feel it is. The times that I've sprayed this fragrance, I felt that I've figured out something different about it each time. There's no redundancy in this fragrance off of my skin. I feel that it's beautifully unique, very well blended, but it's the discovery factor that every time I wear it, I'm like, why didn't this doesn't smell like this, or I didn't pick up this note, or this was a different energy. It's an experience every time I wear it, and I'm obsessed. So these are just 10 fragrances that I'm obsessed with. Again, these aren't the only 10, but in doing it quick, I mean, it's gotta be the ones that stand out in my mind the most because I did it all right off the top of the dome without really thinking about it. I love all these fragrances. They're absolute ball sprayers. I don't want to recommend any blind buying because that shit gets expensive, and this is an expensive lineup no matter what fragrance. But if you can sample 1 or 2 of these to get yourself into the door and see if you share the same obsession, feel free. I love y'all motherfuckers from the heart, and I'll see y'all bitches next time. You know what is biggest in the game.
Cubaknow, what's fresh, who's best? Wanna know who's gonna pass the test? Cubaknow.
For the fly gun holder, money folder, molar roller, start tag when it's time to call back. For the rough, rugged, and raw way, this nigga Jay, it's a game, but he don't play. Hey, for all the chicks that got dead in the penthouse suite on top of my mom's crib. It's nonsense, you never get in. It's nonsense that you would think that